In this video, I wanted to share with you my experience with dermatitis because it only started getting bad in my 40s. And so I remember my skin used to flare in rashes, usually around my neck in my mid 30s, but it kind of went away and didn't get, it wasn't really too bad. And then in my 40s, early 40s, probably about a few years ago, I remember it got so bad that it it started out as redness in my neck, and then it slowly went really quickly. And then redness around my eyes, and then my eyes would swell up, my neck would swell up, and I always get this itchiness around my mouth as well. And then my whole face would swell up. And there was one point it swelled up so much that my skin started to split. And then when I lie in bed, my skin would like bleed and have this like ooze plasma on the pillow, a sticky pillow. And I had to go into, yeah, my eyes were so swollen that I could hardly like open it because of the dermatitis. And so I had to go one time. I had to go to the A&E, the hospital, just to get some steroids and antihistamine, which helped to calm it down. But I was so drowsy from the antihistamines that I had to drive home as well. That was not very safe. But I made it through. I made it through. And I wonder, what could cause my dermatitis. I'm pretty good in terms of like eating wise and supplements, but then at that time, there was a lot of stress going on in my life. But the big thing was identity shifting. So during the time, I was, I would say there was a season of betrayal in that time. And so the ground that I felt that supported me just fell apart. And it was really at that time that my skin just broke. In a way, just literally broke. And I don't know if you believe in, the meaning of what skin is trying to tell us, but I believe in that. I believe when our whatever shows up in our skin is basically an external manifestation of what's going on inside of us. And at that time, when my foundation or what I knew was true totally shattered, or my world was shattered, then my skin barrier then shattered. I felt betrayed. I felt my boundaries were breached, overstepped, taken advantage of, and I was so, in a way, I was shocked, shocked to the point of anger, shock, anger, so much anger, rage. And so this fire like coming out of my skin is like almost so much that my body couldn't contain it, and my skin just split. It was so bad. And I had to really dig deep. I really had to dig deep for a few years. I mean, to calm it down, I don't like taking medication for skin, but to calm it down, the only thing it worked was steroids and antihistamine. And whenever I get the first signs, I have to nip it in the bud, otherwise it swell up so much, and then it can last like, 2 to 3 weeks, swelling. And for the skin, I just use pseudo-cream, lots of E45, and just lots of Vaseline, just like, or ointment, just to like calm it down and just so that it doesn't itch. It was just so itchy. It's like almost like I wanted to be, I just didn't want to be in that situation, that I just want to like jump out on my skin. I just did not, I didn't like the situation I was in. I didn't like the person, or I was questioning like, how in the world did I allow all this to happen to me? And oh, so much, so much. There's so much like trauma stuff inside that just came out my skin. And I mentioned in one of my videos that I wear my emotions on my skin, and that was like the epitome, the epitome. So, and during that time as well, I was also going through perimenopause. Uh, I was started on HRT, and that didn't help my skin, but it just helped my moods and my anxiety. Helped me to sleep better, so that I could start the healing process of my skin. And every time that I didn't feel safe in my body, and again, it's not physical safety, it's really like more emotional safety. I could feel my skin like the like the flush of heat coming up, and irritation, anger, frustration, and just yeah, it's like something inside of me was trying to shout out, but it just couldn't. And so my skin was just like holding on to me. It didn't want me to like explode. Ah, I had to go through lots of therapy, including couples therapy. Yeah, including couples therapy was much later. Realized I had to feel safe in myself. I had to feel safe in myself because people that I depended on realized I couldn't. And so I had to learn how to depend on myself. And this was huge because being someone who was a people pleaser, making sure everyone was okay, except, and ignoring my own own signs and symptoms, I had to learn how to take care of myself, feel safe in my body, and just be my own, just holding me as I was falling apart. That's right. I was holding myself as I was falling apart. And I remember every morning I had to wake up and just put my hand on the mirror and just say, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Okay, we got this. I've got you. It's okay. I'm never going to leave you. Oh my goodness. I had to do that a lot because I just felt like everything around me was just falling apart. And now, I think now 2 years on, my skin is still sensitive, but it's not as triggering as before. I don't need to take my steroids or antihistamines. And and I just feel a lot calmer, more grounded in myself. I mean, circumstances wise, it's definitely changed a few things. I left a very toxic relationship, and relationship that we with my husband, we're going to therapy, and we had to do a lot of healing, needs of healing and consolation, basically. Resolution, consolation, repair. That's right, repair. A lot of repair. And mm, and as I'm going through this repair process, it's like my skin feels safer and feel like okay, she feels safe being with me in this moment of time, in this body. And so I don't feel like I want to jump out on my skin. I'm not talking to you and my whole face goes red and itchy, which does happen in the past. So it's a lot, I get that less now. And so if you do experience dermatitis later in your life, you know, ask yourself, yes, it could be hormones, um, it could be a gut thing, but also could it be something that's going on inside of you? It's like your world shattering, that it's almost forcing you to pay attention to your inner world because you have masked for so long and ignored the signs for so long that it needs to come out. It needs to come out. So that's where the emotions coming out and feeling safe to express, whether that's grief, sadness, anger, Um, and even, yeah, I would say grief, anger, sadness, anger, mm, disgust, all that emotion needs to come out, expressed in a safe environment, and knowing that you- you're not going to judge it. You're not going to judge it so that it can express itself, come out and move through you. So it's almost like completing that cycle of conversation because your emotion needs a space, needs to be heard, it needs to be felt, it needs to be acknowledged. And then your skin feels calmer, your skin feels it's okay, it's safe to be me. It's safe to be me, all of me. And with that, when I was able to do that, then I was able to find safety among other people. And that's when I started working on my relationship. So yeah, no, I mean, I said the skin is like just so the skin is amazing. If you just see your skin as an entity that's just there to protect you, but also give you clues to what's going on inside, it's really magical. It's really magical. Anyway, let me know if you have experience with dermatitis. How are you finding it? What have you tried? What have you not? And have you considered these elements that I talked about? Right. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.